Hey everyone, this is 2521 Lightning Dragon Battle. It contains 645 pieces, 4 minifigures, and retailed for $79.99 USD back in August 1st of 2011. Starting off with the Lightning Dragon aka Wisp, it's a very substantial build for the 60, maybe 70% of the parts that go towards him. The irony though is how short he is, as these legs have the exact same build as the Ice Dragon attack, making him the biggest but second shortest dragon of 2011. What he does have, though, is an incredible amount of articulation, even by today's standards. You have 2 in the neck, 2 in the shoulders, 2 in the body, and 4 in the wings. Surprisingly, these wings still hold up pretty well despite the dual articulation in the shoulders with the ratcheted joints. Anyways, the dark and medium blues on this dragon make for a very eye-pleasing color scheme with even a little accent of yellow on the head. Speaking of the head, it's made up of 2 specialized hard rubber molds with majority of details being printed on. Inside is a Fornax launcher and Zimmer spear, both from the Bionic line. If you're unfamiliar with how these Fornax launchers work, all you need to do is squeeze both sides. And as you can hear, it's very powerful and probably why LEGO discontinued them years later. Much like majority of the set, the saddle is very blocky, but decent for 2011 standards. There's no way for Jay to fall off unless he's right in shard. Towards the top, and much like the other dragons from the slave, you have 2 flags mounted on top of the body. These prints appear in the same wave, but if anybody would like to translate that right there, please do so in the comments below. Looking at the back here, it's not exactly the greatest, but that's to be expected with most of these early dragons from 2011. As I said earlier, it's got 2 points of articulation, but what I didn't show is that it can actually rotate too. Which, in all honesty, I think it might be a bit too much. Especially when you're considering the fact how short, like I said earlier, the legs are. But what I did forget to mention is this tail. It is, I believe, 8 points of articulation with a tip of lightning bolt right here. And that is the same lightning bolt they use for Garmadon staff in the same wave. Skullcopter here really just blows the Lightning Dragon out of the water. It's almost to the point that the Lightning Dragon feels like the side build and not the other way around. In all honesty, I could have seen this build as its own set back in the day. The entire skull here, which is supposed to be the cockpit, is done very nicely and either represents a bear or shark. Yes, if you don't know, each Golden vehicle is designed towards a specific animal. To access the cockpit, all you need to do is open this hatch right here. And inside you'll find Fracjaw. Now he doesn't really sit in there or anything, he just kind of slides right in there. But an additional feature that's pretty cool about it is that it has an actual working jaw. So, which, because of this tongue, it doesn't matter if Fracjaw is in there or not. It will still work and he won't fall out. The Skullcopter comes armed with a total of 4 flick-fire missiles to defend itself against the Lightning Dragon. You can fire them either as a pair or individually. And what's interesting is that these flick-fire missiles actually comprise of a minifigure head, which is printed with a unmodified Skulking Warrior. The back here features another play feature housing this very simple wrench system, which, I mean, if you can't tell, you can either grab Jay or Wolf, and the best part is that you can actually remove it. So if you want to make this a normal quote-unquote helicopter and carry other things, you can. Plus, it makes having this grab into minifigures much easier. I do want to mention that this jet exhaust right here is supposed to house a flame on it, but unfortunately mine keeps falling off because the set is so old now, so I prefer to display it without. If you want to see the propeller spin, here it is, and it's really not the best. It wobbles a lot, and it's really not smooth. If you want a smooth, flight, you should really just do stuff like this, but even then, it's still very wobbly. Crunch's spinner here isn't exclusive or anything as it is in his regular spinner set, but it is a nice inclusion. If you don't know how these work, all you need is to take 2 fingers, 1 on each side, and there you go. Here's Crunch's spinner close-up. While it is exclusive, it's still nice to get with that transparent plastic and purple bottom base. Here are Woo DX and JGX. Both the graphic design and print quality are great on both of these figures. Woo features a ninja staff, while J has the nunchucks lightning. Over here has a very black striking kimono with dark blue gray sashes and pearl gold inscriptions on the right side of his torso. However, for Jay, he really only has the lightning dragon printed on his terraced torso, with the only ninja thing being his dark blue gray sash right here. And of course, he just has the standard Jay face that was introduced this year. If all accessories removed, gives you a better look at Wu's kimono. Towards the back, he features a Asian-inspired golden dragon, while for Jay, features his name and his classic ninja symbol first introduced with those training suits. Bad guys consist of Earth General Crunch and a quote-unquote exclusive version of Fire Scout Fracture, but really what makes him exclusive is the fact he has a pilot helmet instead of a straw hat. Crunchy here has a very nice specialized molded head just for him, with the helmet printed on and sporting a monocle. What really surprises me about the guys though is the fact that these spikes are a hard plastic and not hard rubber like LEGO typically make. While these guys are a step up from the typical skeletons, they do have one fatal flaw in their production. That right there was not because of age. It is a production issue. For some reason around these times, the skeleton arms would break very easy and be very fragile. My best guess as to why is the fact that not only did they have to mass produce these both for sets and spinners, but the clips on the hands seem to be a bit thinner than what was originally produced. Other than that, there's really not much to say about these guys. I mean, the torso prints are basically the same with only a color change between the two on the sashes, and Fracture, of course, does not have any head printing on the back. So, would I have recommended this set back in 2011? I'd say yeah. Despite the various flaws in a not so great price per part ratio, the value you are paying for is there. I mean, you do get free components that consist of something for the ninja, something for the skullkin, and even a gimmick that year, the spinners. I'd say this set represents a great amount of Ninjago sets from 2011, but would I recommend it now? No. As this is a hard to find set, you are going to expect to be paying maybe close to $150-$200 used, while new is going to cost you around $400. Personally, there are much better dragons now than there was there. It's great for nostalgia, but definitely do get something newer. But if you don't mind paying that much money, I'd say go for it. It is a great set. It just depends how much you're willing to shell out. Anyways, this has been Marty from Ninja Bricks. See you guys next time.